Our last objective for 8.2 part 1 is to find x and y intercepts, and this brings us back to something we talked about in the first video. You may remember we talked about a y-intercept and an x-intercept, and they look like this on our graph. So for our last example today, we're going to find x and y intercepts, and then we're going to graph an equation using those. And finding the x and y intercepts is one method of graphing. We're going to learn about 3 methods of graphing total between 8.2 and 8.3. Our example is 4x minus y equals -3, and we're going to start by finding the x and y intercepts. So the key piece of information we need to remember is that when you're finding an x-intercept, as stated here, the y value is 0. So what that means for us is we are going to go and we're going to plug into our equation 0 for y, and then I'm going to solve, and that will find my x-intercept value. 4x minus 0 is just 4x. Divide by 4, divide by 4. So my x-intercept is at -3/4, comma 0. Make sure you always put it in point format. So for an x-intercept, you plug a 0 in for y. If you look at this, to find a y-intercept, we're now going to plug a 0 in for x. So x is 0 for a y-intercept. So here I go, I'm plugging in a 0, and then I'm going to go through and solve. 4 times 0 is just 0. So I've got -y equals -3, and I end up with y equals 3. So my y-intercept is 0, 3. Again, giving it in point format. Feel free to pause and write stuff down if you need to. Last but not least, we're going to graph it. So when you graph these, it's easy. You just got to remember to put the correct point on the correct axis. So my x-intercept is -3/4, 0. Just do the best to plot it on -3/4. And then 0, 3 is my y-intercept. Connect the dots and put an arrow on either end to show that my line could continue to infinity in both directions. And that's it for finding x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Write down any questions you have to ask Miss Olson tomorrow. Thanks for listening.